Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Stirfry. I'm Chef T.
I'm Will the Spacekid.
And this is our special guest, James Dalton.
Hello, hello.
All right.
Let's get it.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, James.
So I'm a photographer here in the Cleveland area. Shoot photos. Do a lot of videography too.
Yeah, amazing work. Amazing work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Amazing.
No, I'm telling you, this guy, photos, unreal. Unreal. Make sure you check him out. All right. Where were you from? Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up like in the Menor area. It's like 30 minutes east of Cleveland. And I mean, I was going to school for radiology, like a rad tech, and I was planning on working my way through that.
Right.
And I met this guy, John Riley, and he was like really into videography and photography, and so we were started hanging out. And there was this one day where he was like searching for jobs, and I was hanging out with him, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna find some kind of job.
Right.
And like in the meantime, we were like, well, while we're looking for jobs, let's like start a company, and
Right, yeah.
we'll see what happens first. The first day that we decided to like go buy materials for this company, because we thought we were gonna do like a wedding videography photography company. So we went to buy out some materials or whatever. They got a call for one of these jobs, and the job was that he had to go to South Carolina and like yeah,
Right.
he had to go down far away for a 3-year contract. So it wasn't even like it was just gonna be for a little bit. He was gone for years.
That's pretty life-changing.
Yeah, it was pretty life-changing. He was filming all kinds of stuff down there. But before he left, he handed me this like Canon T2i, and he was like, carry on the legacy.
Oh,
and
yes.
so ever since then, I like dropped out of everything and just focused on photography and videography. And it's worked out all right so far, and that's where I am now.
That's amazing. You chose an unconventional route. Like you went from, okay, I'm gonna do the 9 to 5 or 9 to who knows when, because you're doing radiology. Like that is just a crazy field to go into, to just doing photography and just diving deep into that. That's amazing. That's amazing.
When did you kind of like know that you were good? Like, I'm confident. Like, my work is great. I'm gonna pass out business cards. I'm like 100% sure I have a great piece of work. When did that moment hit you?
Never.
Still working on it. I am too. Believe me.
I still look through all my photos, and I'm like, that's trash, delete.
No, I feel that on so many levels.
Okay.
No, but I feel like there's always this moment as creators that we go through where we're finally, we're not where we want to be ultimately, but we have improved so much more, and our confidence has gone up to where we're like, if someone asks for photos, we'll go and take them. We know that we're going to have good results in the end. When was that turning point, though, when I think that's kind of what he's asking. Like, when was the turning point where you're like, okay, I can do this. This is
Even, people say they don't, but I have a strong disbelief. Like, it's other photographies, and I mean, it's other photographies, but it's other photographers in the Cleveland area. And I know you might follow some of them. You might see some of their work. But it's this moment where you're like, my work is just as good. Or even like, man, I feel like my work is better. Like, they might have a different, type of style of editing. But you're like, I could do that. So it reached this moment where like, okay, my work is just as good. I'm just as talented. I can charge the same prices.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I think the thing is I look through a lot of other people's work around here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of other people are shooting different styles.
Yeah.
Like I shoot really up close portraits for the most part. Like that's what I really gravitate to. If you ask me to shoot like a wide landscape,
no idea.
I'm like, I don't know. It's a wide angle and I scoot way the far back, right?
Yeah.
It's rough for me. Okay. So I see other people doing things that I cannot do. And like maybe in like portraits or whatnot, I might be able to edge some people out in my own opinion. But even then, like other people have different angles, different colors, different lighting, and completely different styles. And that style and the way that they do things certain people like that more than they would like how I would shoot. So realistically, it just depends on who your customer is.
I mean, I feel like you found like a nice
audience.
little niche though. Like, cause that's what I'm saying. Like, but I don't know. I look through your photos. I see these close-ups.
They're literally incredible.
They're like, I feel what the person that is in the photo feels. That's what I feel like you're doing with the close-ups. And some people in this area, like, I don't know if you know, was it Josh Tepez? I can't pronounce his name. He does like the neon, the dark, like the night ones. Those are crazy.
Beautiful.
But those are a totally different style. You know, and like, I just love how you at least know that what different styles, because I feel like that can just hold people back because you're comparing, you know? That's when I was doing videos, like, I'm like, dude, this guy's music video is really good. I don't know if mine's, but like I shoot differently, you know?
Right.
And do you create the concepts or?
I try to create a lot of the concepts. And the thing is like I'll create a concept in my head and I'm like, this is how it's going to turn out. And it turns out completely different, you know?
Yeah.
So, cause you know, I usually come to some of the models and I'll be like, all right, here's an idea. Let's shoot this. And they're like, okay. And then we go on set and then we make small adjustments for, you know, lighting or time or, you know, style. And then like people suggest things. They're like, why don't we do a little bit of this? And I'm like, all right, let's do that. Let's try it out. And like, usually it's ending up those shots that turn out that I like more than the original idea. So, I mean, the original idea just kind of like,
that collaboration process though too is what really makes it probably stand out, you know, just the idea of like, well, you have a model that's equally as talented, you know, and has an idea too, and you're just able to bring that to life. That's amazing. What motivates you to like get up and do photography every day?
It's literally creating something out of nothing. Photoshop is way better than real life.
Right, you can add anything.
Definitely.
You can add anything. I'll be driving in my car and I'm like looking out at stuff and I'm like, if only I could take the highlights out of that or add the shadows back in, more contrast,
real life editing,
replace the sky. You know, this would be beautiful. You know, I like to take things that are kind of just there and kind of see if I can make it better visually.
Yeah, make it pop.
Right. Kind of like color grading. You know, when you see that gray footage, you're like, okay, this is cool. And then you start adding colors to it and you're like, whoa.
Then you see the before and after, you're like, you forget what it looked like. You're like, oh, damn.
And the progress and the work. Yeah. It's like phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. So you do a lot of phenomenal work. Are you open to nude models?
All the time.
Will said he wants to be in your neck.
Nah.
No.
I don't know about me. Not yet.
For his friend.
Not yet. Yeah.
Oh, man. No, I'm completely open to all types of photography.
Okay.
I just don't go out and ask that
Yeah.
because it's like a sensitive market.
Yeah.
Market, so to say, where like if you ask that, people are like, fucking creep.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
it can be a weird way to approach it. Yeah, art, yeah.
Yeah, because you know, like on Twitter all the time, you hear about these photographers like, hey, I want you to come to my living room and I'm putting a cereal box on top of your tits.
Yeah.
Outside of that, you'll basically be naked. And then they like just shoot a photographer distress. Like, I can't believe I did this for this photographer. And meanwhile, he already got the picture, so he already won pretty much. But yeah, how do you separate yourself from like being that guy? Basically, like
that's why I don't have a whole lot of a nude portfolio.
I
have
because you gotta make sure you approach people right. I mean,
right, yeah,
respect.
Like talking about the cereal box on my tits thing. I had a friend. She was a close friend, so I was like, okay, in my mind, it would have been okay, but like in my mind, I was like, okay, I could definitely ask for this. I was like, I want you to just be naked in a tub full of ramen. And she was
sounds like a great idea.
Okay. And that was a great
So you did it.
Yeah, for sure.
okay, so that's great. That's great that you were able to
really
achieve
weird,
that.
really random.
See, like I feel like that's where pro photographers have the upper hand. It's like when they start creating pictures like that, like that's where you realize like, oh, like these guys are like pros.
Yeah.
And it's the creativeness of like, I don't know, the art of like a naked body is just.
It is
You
definitely.
know, there's just something. There's just It's not even about the eye of like an object. It's more of like, I don't know what the meaning.
Now,
these
was
pictures.
this like unopened raiment or like open raiment?
Oh,
Like,
it was all
was it
open.
cooked?
It was all open.
okay, so
It was in the tub long enough to cook itself.
Okay,
Yeah, turn
Okay.
the water on hot.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Got you.
noodles everywhere. I think it was like $10 worth of ramen.
oh yeah,
Dude, I want to see those pictures.
50
dude.
packets. Yeah, I'll send you a couple for sure.
That's awesome.
okay.
All right, so this year a lot of movies came out. What kind of is your favorite movie for this year?
Ooh, man. So this year, I started out like my favorite movie was 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri.
Okay.
I really recommend watching that movie. It was amazing.
I've never seen
Is
it.
this like independent Netflix, Hulu, or
Um,
YouTube? How would you watch it?
I think it might not be on Netflix.
Or how did you see it?
My friend had it. He had it downloaded.
Ah.
We watched it, but it's not like an old movie.
Yeah.
It's like relatively new. But so I recommend watching that. But my
Okay.
absolute favorite movie right now and possibly of all time at the moment is Her. Did you
Great
guys watch
movie.
that? Her on Netflix.
Great movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
got you.
man, the colors in that movie just like are just even like just so beautiful. The color palette.
What specifically? What the actors, the coloring, the what?
I mean, the acting is really amazing. If you think about it, a lot of the shots are really close up in Joaquin Phoenix's face, and it's just like these minor details that really convey the emotion. So he did an amazing job acting.
He's a great actor.
And have you seen this movie?
I haven't finished it.
You-
Okay.
It's so many movies I haven't finished.
Oh, did I start something? Do you lie to me? So one of the greatest things is, he did such a good job at acting because he's like the only character. And he's like interacting with another character who is not there the entire movie. So, I mean, I really recommend that movie. It was phenomenal in all aspects. Just blew my mind.
Yeah, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Will? Huh?
He's gonna watch and he's gonna be like, I hated it.
Yeah. He's like, oh my god.
As far as me and my favorite movie, gotta say American Gangster. Denzel Washington to me personally, I think that might be his best role. Like outside of it being my favorite movie, I also might think it's just his best role. Like he always plays like, the tough guy, things are gonna be done how I say it, and then he saves the day. But this was just like, I'm that guy, literally. Like, I don't know, just even the concept of like, this kid can go to the Major League Baseball Association, but they would rather be this drug dealer. Like, it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But you're that cool, you're that poppin', you create that identity. But yeah, it's so many reasons. Like, I would have to say American Gangster easily. It's my favorite movie.
For me, man, I don't even have a favorite movie, to be honest with you. Like, I'm big into independent films. Like, I'm big into, like, movies that really, like, spoke to me.
Like Frozen?
Oh, dude, Frozen, dude. That's my favorite. No, I'm kidding. All right, so, basically, I really fuck with The Glass Castle. I don't know if you ever seen that. Oh, my God.
That's a fire title. I'm going to definitely put that on my list.
Yeah.
Like, that title
Oh, dude,
is fire.
it's just such a good movie.
I know you talk about Goodfellas a lot.
Goodfellas is amazing. I really love the Florida Project. See, like, these are all these weird independent films. The Florida Project's really good because it's like, it's realistic. Like, it's about this little girl and her mom in this little hotel in Florida. And it's the idea of what you don't see as a tourist. So it's the idea of what the real Florida looks like. And behind this, like, beautifully painted hotel that looks nice to, like, if you're going to visit. But really, like, these people are growing up there. They're living there. They're dealing with all these problems, like drugs. And it's a very real concept. And all the actors in it were very natural. It was very, like, natural dialogue written. And the main actress was, like, just this, like, think 8-year-old girl, like young girl,
Wow.
killed it.
Wow.
Killed it. It was unreal. We saw it in one of my independent film classes. Phenomenal. That's just amazing. And then Glass Castle probably up there too. They all have the same kind of look. And then Short Term 12. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
No, you're gonna have to write me a list.
Yeah, I got these independent films I'm just busting out of you. No, these are all like really. I think for me, I like independent films because the story. I think the story, they focus more on the story than anything else, and like the emotion of the story. Like like they're pretty much dramas, but they put the story first, and everything extra like goes away. They don't need millions of dollars to create a really good story.
And they don't have to adhere to almost like what seems like a stamped out procedure of what an actual feature film needs to be, to appease to that type of audience.
To actually, make, because I think people are more worried about making money and making it billions of dollars.
Right.
But you can easily, these movies have doubled or tripled their investments. And they're well-written movies. I think people need to start focusing more on like the quality of the story, not just what can make money. But again, you got corporations running the film business. That's just how it is.
Yeah. I did see a really cool independent film called Kicks. I don't know if you're familiar with like Kicks. But basically, it's just about this younger teen, inner city, probably like 13. He gets his pair of Jordans took, but he's willing to do any and everything to get them back. Right. Like, it's not like that story where, like, dude gets his Jordan took, he finds dude, pow, I shot him. Like, I don't know, I feel like that happens all the time. I'm talking about, like, he goes through hell and back for these shoes. Like, he's like, nobody's going to take my shoes, I'm going to get them back. And I'm talking about, like, catching a bus out of the city, like, on ass.
Just
like,
to grab these shoes.
Like, he's like, dude think he took my shoes? But it also kind of draws between, like, the idea of, like...
Is it more than
it's
shoes?
The principle
Yeah.
of, like, who do you think you are?
Right.
But, yeah, it teaches a lot of crazy lessons. Pretty interesting movie. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's more than like, oh, you can't just come in here and take my shit.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. Because I feel like people just think that they can just get away with it,
Mm-hmm.
But it also shows why dude took them, too. So it gets pretty interesting. It shows it from both points of view, where it creates this great space of, like, dang, okay. I never kind of looked at it like that.
Right.
And I think that's kind of like where film's going, like right now in this past, this past decade or this
It's like a
future
renaissance
decade.
kind of.
It's like a reflection on like what created like these bad characters, like Maleficent. They made an entire movie on Maleficent, the Mistress of Evil, the Joker. Like, we're diving into why people
that
are
movie,
bad.
I seen
Joker,
something where they said it was like, no, not even the Joker.
I'm just kidding.
But so Maleficent, I seen that was supposed to be like the same story of Snow White.
Right, it was about the evil.
And I was like, that is crazy. Like, which I didn't get to see it, but I definitely had to see Maleficent. I mean, everybody knows the story of Snow White.
I get it. So it's trying to touch on humanity and like why people are. See, that's the controversy with the Joker. You know, it's like, how do you make a movie about somebody that's bad, but the audience has to feel.
I mean,
has to relate and feel emotions for this character. Like, how do you make a movie where we feel bad? But he goes and kills a bunch of people. It's like, it's kind of this weird mix.
You have to like put the audience into that character's psyche, and like make them relate, which is such an interesting thing because if you can relate to that character that's so evil, then what are you? Yeah, everyone's got a little bit of evil.
Yeah. That's why I think The Joker was a great movie.
It was
because some people like saying it was controversial in the fact that like, it's gonna make kids go and like, do some crazy psychopathic stuff, but like, I feel like the whole thing, it tells you that he's fucked up and like there's the reasons why he is, but it doesn't change the fact that he's still doing wrongdoings. It still doesn't change the fact that he's evil.
It's also interesting because I think it might have been controversial as well because it kind of reflects like the state that we're in as a nation right now a little bit, you know? I look at my taxes and I'm like,
That's bad.
Where's that money going?
And just even, it's sad, like, the sad things that are going on, you know, these, I don't want to get down, but, like, you know, all these school shootings, like, it kind of reflects on that. And the idea of, like, I'm not going to even spoil the movie, but just that whole idea of what the Joker went through is, like, kind of reflecting on what they say society and kids are, like, it's happening to kids now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
that was a pretty
it was a
deep movie.
It was a deep movie. I will see it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it was amazing. And just the idea of like popularity. Like popularity has a lot of different meanings for a lot of different people. And seeing like the Joker's idea of like popularity and how far it went, and then asking yourself, was it worth it? I don't know, so many questions that like ask yourself, like, okay, dang, like people really want this. And if they don't get it, what are they willing to do? Right. And that's the sad part, to go back to what you guys were talking about. All the time we see that kid, and this is not speaking on like every kid that does this, but a lot of times it's a kid that's, you know, they're not really that popular in school. And because of that, it's like, well, these are the popular kids. And then you look up and some athlete or cheerleader is shot at a school. And granted, you know, they might have been picking on that kid, but I mean, picking on that kid doesn't validate losing a life. So it happens all the time. Like, yeah, they were wrong. They deserve detention or whatever. I get that. But it's just like, I don't know, like popularity is crazy. Like people want the clout, the fame, just the joy of, you know, being that it person in school.
Yeah. And then you see a lot of that characteristics throughout the Joker. But on a lighter note, let's go into like, so me and Will talk about this all the time. Yeah, cut that. No, yeah, because that's true facts though. Yeah. But so me and Will talk about this all the time. Action movies. What are more specifically superhero movies? What are your view on superhero movies?
Oh man,
do you enjoy them? Do you?
Okay, well, first question: Did you go see Endgame?
I did not.
Me neither. Thank you.
I did not see Endgame. So my perspective on superhero movies, and I have like nothing against them or anything, but I just feel so like the world does not have to be ending for you to make a good film. You know, nobody has to rescue the world from total destruction for there to be a good film. Yeah. And then I also feel like Marvel kind of like milked the train on the comics, but I'm not an expert.
Okay, so so you feel as if you're watching a movie and no matter who's flying, no matter what power they have, it boils back to this idea of like, okay, waiting for them to save the day. Okay, 1 hour in the movie, okay. Okay, it's like 10 minutes left. They told me it was 2 hours. Okay, the day is saved.
Yeah, waiting on the same moment.
And you just feel like that's what happens when you typically see superhero movies.
That feels like a lot of superhero movies. Like there feels like there's always a solution. You know, there might have been a hard way to get to the solution, but in the end, there's like almost always a solution. And I haven't seen Endgame yet, so I mean,
see, I'm with you on that one. I am not a big superhero movie fan. I've never seen any of the Avengers. I mean, I've seen like Black Panther, Thor. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But again, like I think it's just how much can they milk it, dude? It's like the same story every time. I'm bored of it. Like, okay, the effects are cool, blah blah blah, but like I don't want to like waste $13 just to see like some CGI effects, you know? And like there's no good story when the story's the same thing every time. It's just like, okay, well, obviously dude's going to save the day. He's going to beat the villain, blah blah blah. That's it, and the story. But like I just wonder when it's going to end. I feel like the train of superhero movies got to end.
It has a long time.
I don't know, because like I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were explaining the difference between, or the similarities between westerns and superhero movies. Westerns were popping. Everyone was in a western. Studios were making westerns like crazy. There was big western stars, and then we saw it fade away. Yeah. And then it was kind of like the action era, and then it went superhero movies. I just feel like it's got to like loop back down.
It faded away, and you can barely even get by with passing a western off even now. You know,
barely. Hateful Eight was probably the last like decent kind of westerny film that was, in my opinion, pretty good. But like,
so like my big thing with that was kind of the whole idea of like the problem is that superheroes hold an emotional attachment to people because it's so many groups of superheroes. So when you look at the Western, it's kind of like, I'm the tough guy, I got the gun, I got the horse, I can rob whoever, I'm that cool guy. Superheroes, it varies into, you have a Batman, his parents died, so I like Batman. I'm a high school student, so I like Spider-Man. I'm the strong dude, always been on the football team. I'm the tough guy people call, so I like Incredible Hulk. Mm-hmm. And with those different emotions, it is going to be a long time of... I mean, I feel like they easily got another 30 years just off of capturing those emotions to people because people can see themselves in a superhero.
I guess, I mean, that's the whole point of superheroes. But they can see themselves in a Western as well. You know?
So that's very true. It is going to be here for a long time, and I'm not complaining or anything.
Yeah.
Just not my cup of tea. But I don't know how long it will be because the superhero generation was really heavy on the people who are like in their 40s and 50s now because those people grew up on comics
yep.
And now they have money, and now they see that like these movies are coming out, and they're like, oh, shit, I'm going to go, see, relive that almost through like a really good action film.
Yeah.
So now there's, through that time period, there's not as many people reading the comics or keeping up. And so it's going to be down the line, people are just going to remember the movies, and then they're going to end up making the remakes. I mean, it'll go for a while, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to see.
It's like Disney.
They'll start cycling through. Yeah, I mean, that's what they do. They start cycling through. Oh, the new. How many fucking Spider-Mans has there been, dude?
No,
like,
I do have a huge
what the fuck,
problem.
Dude?
Like, so I am
so
big.
many Spider-Mans.
I am big on superhero movies, but I hate that Spider-Man comes out every year. Like, I legit because it's just like surprise, summer blockbusters. Spider-Man is on the way, and it's like, no, it's not a surprise. We have not been waiting all year. Give it some air, let it breathe.
Right.
But they abuse Spider-Man, and
it's a new Spider-Man every time.
It's common sense. It's like Spider-Man, high school student. Not the toughest dude at school, but it's just, I don't know, it's so relatable. People want to see it every year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think superheroes definitely got a wave. And the thing I noticed is most people that aren't really big into superhero movies, they like the Batman movies because it's more cinematic. So how do you feel about Batman? Like Dark Knight?
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I really love that Christopher Nolan Batman.
I mean, me personally, like, the Batman's are my favorite. It's just like, it's that dark, gritty. We don't need granted, it is a big studio, but the difference in like I feel like the effort that they took to make like these most recent like Marvel movies compared to the effort in like the old DC Batman movies, way less effort, but way more quality. Like, I don't know, you just watch it and you're like, we don't need the best graphics in the world right now to make the Batman movie. We need top of the line actors. We need top of the line writers, and it's just better. It's just better. You could just see it.
Yeah, I think what you said before, Dark Knight's more cinematic. Like that series was way more cinematic, and they didn't use as much. I'm sure they used a bunch of CGI in it, obviously, like for like the Batmobile and stuff like that. But I think it just was real. People could like see it. As where superhero movies are like shooting shit out of their arms, like they're flying. It's like all filmed from a green screen. I don't know. It's just.
I mean, even when you look at the difference in budgets, like the Avengers was just $400 million. Like that's the budget.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like Batman movie, I'm pretty sure like
millions and millions.
Probably like 89 million, and then kind of like flip it a couple times, make their money back. But $400 million, you're just going out the gate like Man,
What do we need?
We need everything. We need
Everything. Best camera. Best. Yeah. Let's get everyone on board. That's true. No, yeah, that's true. But again, you don't need to spend that much to have a good film. I think that's what you were trying to say in the beginning, right? Like, you do not need to be going out here spending $400 million. I mean, the profits are crazy.
Well, I think the whole problem with
still.
Disney right now is kind of like, before we had this idea where like, okay, if I spend $80 million on a movie, we do $300 million in the box office. Everybody won. Everybody go home. Disney is like, I don't care if we got to spend $250, if we got to spend $400. Box office better hit $1 billion in like 3 weeks, and they're successful. They're doing it like quality, bad quality. I mean, their only loss was Dumbo, and it wasn't even a loss. It was like they doubled their money, made a little bit of profit this year, but people were like, "Ooh, look, Disney lost some money."
And Tim Burton directed that. That was surprising.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it might be a quality movie actually, but I don't know. It seems like it wasn't due to the reviews. Rotten Tomatoes chewed it up.
I didn't even hear about it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, but like, do you want a Dumbo movie? I mean, that's like, Dumbo's just like one of those things. Like, yeah, I saw it as a kid, but it's like not. It was never like that.
Right. But Disney's like, they cover their bases. Like, there was some kid out there that Dumbo was their movie.
Yeah.
And they remade the movie just for that kid.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, they made their money back. I mean, it's not a loss.
Yeah, I think everything with Disney right now is kind of just like, let's try it. Even if we lose, okay, yeah, Dumbo was a loss, but let's remember, like, they dropped Lion King, they dropped Avengers this year. Avengers passed Avatar. Yeah, I say Lion King was great.
Great job, yeah.
Great. But to think, like, they already made $2 billion off Avengers. They made $1 billion in Lion King, like, in the first 3 weeks. Another $1 billion off the Captain Marvel. So when they lose or just double their money on Dumbo, it's kind of like, oh, man.
Oops.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what are we going to do? Right. How will we ever survive and drop another movie? They just do it because it's so much money raking in. And they still have Frozen and Star Wars on the back end of December. Frozen drops.
I heard from Frozen 1, they made $1 billion just on the dresses alone. Isn't that crazy? Wow. Just the dresses they sell in the Disney store, $1 billion off that. What? That's what I think Disney. I think Disney doesn't give a fuck about the movie as much as they love the marketability and then the extra stuff they could sell.
And it would
way more profitable.
That would make sense too, because I heard somebody said that Disney was just remaking everything for like this newer generation. Because this newer generation or the next generation isn't going to go back and want to watch the original Cinderella. They're going to be like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
You know, so if they remade it and put it in a different story for the future generation.
That makes sense.
That's cool.
That makes definite sense.
I mean, so the whole thing is, as a business, it's kind of like, okay, we own Lion King. Lion King, I don't know if they're buying like Lion King T-shirts like they used to. They're buying them, but they're not buying them at the rate I want them to buy them. So we're sitting there and like, hey, let's drop Lion King again. But people already seen it. Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to see if it's better. And then the advertisement was incredible. Like I was in Walmart. It's like animal crackers, boom, throw a Mufasa on there. Yeah. I'm talking about Ziploc bags, boom, Nala right there. And I'm just like, oh man, okay, advertising is heavy.
The cast was crazy.
Oh yeah, even having Beyonce sing, Beyonce gets on Twitter, everybody go see Lion King.
And Childish Gambino,
like come on.
Right.
These people with Seth Rogen, dude, like give me a break, dude.
So,
this is a fire ass cast.
As a business, yeah. And in merchandise, of course, people are gonna buy Lion King t-shirts. Of course, people are gonna be out with their kids. Their kids like, oh, can I get the Lion toy? And
the music.
Like, oh, it's $5.
DVDs and shit, like, well.
And then even third party just selling it to other like toy stores that survive. Like, oh yeah, we'll give you 1 million of these toy lions for this price. Come on, Disney, like
See, yeah, it's. I had someone complain though that it was like, they're like, I already saw this. Like, it's the same movie. I'm like, that was the point, dude. Yeah, I'm like, why would they change it? It'd be stupid. But like, I get it though because that was made what in the '90s,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So it's been 30 years almost.
Yeah, it's pretty close to 30 years.
Almost 30 years since we like, and when we were kids, we all watched it.
Yeah.
So the kids that are like our age when we first saw it, they probably seen the cartoon one, but like it doesn't resonate with their tablets and all that stuff. Like think about the quality of that. They're like they see this new Lion King, that's their first experience with it. They're like, oh my god, it was beautiful. I remember the story forever. That's gonna be their Lion King.
Right.
To what ours was.
That's just like how my Batman is Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Yeah.
My dad's Batman is like the 1980s version.
Yeah, it wasn't George Clooney. No, even before then.
Right. Something like that. I don't even know what his Batman is, but
So at this moment, it is currently illegal for Disney to have a movie theater. But with their streaming service released, is that worse or better?
you know that
Is it more worse that they have a streaming service than for them to have a physical movie theater?
I think it's probably, man, it's better for them
Yeah.
to have a streaming service.
Okay.
It would be worse if they had theater, I think.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested. I'm interested in your thought. This is your thought.
No, definitely. I see
I'm
what you're saying.
annoyed. I'm annoyed. I like for me, Disney. I'm like, you guys do everything right. You know, fucking do whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you do it right, and you charge reasonable amounts. Whatever, it's fine. But like their streaming service, I was like, okay, that's kind of a line. I don't want to download Hulu, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and now Disney.
Yeah.
And I'm only gonna be able to find Disney stuff on your Disney channel. And you guys own everything or are trying to buy everything?
Trying to buy everything, exactly.
Right, yeah. I don't like that at all. No, I don't like that at all. But it's super beneficial to them because there's going to be a bunch of people who also subscribe to that.
Got you.
Yeah, and that's what we discussed on our streaming service on the episode. It's the idea that even though Disney owns all this stuff, what do you think Hulu and Netflix are gonna do? Like, do you think Netflix will be fine?
I mean, well, they also own Hulu, but
Yeah. Do they really? I mean, yeah.
It's really getting like so. Because I was thinking about this whole thing, like, okay, so with the streaming service, it's like it's on your phone, it's on your tablet, your gaming system, you can access it. Obviously, yeah, if they had to do movie theaters, the whole problem would be like, we got to get all these workers and they build it up. So I think in the beginning, the streaming service is more beneficial, but overall, I think that movie theater would like crush stuff because Disney has that money.
How often are you gonna be like, oh, dude, like I want to go to the Disney movie theater, dude? Like I don't want to go to fucking Disney. I mean, how often do like?
Well,
okay, so
here's the
this
thing.
is the
they
problem.
own everything, huh?
This is the problem. If you had only went to the Disney theater this year, you would have saw the Avenger movie, which outsold everything right now. You would have saw Frozen, which would have got all the kids in. You would have saw Lion King. Like you would have saw Spider-Man. Almost every blockbuster would have came out at the Disney theater.
Yeah, I guess I don't see those movies though.
Got you.
See, I'm different. I don't see those movies in theater.
I think the thing is though is if Disney had their own theater, it wouldn't just be some theater that
monopoly.
you go into.
Like,
it'd be a monopoly.
It would be
yeah.
bully. So I get the problem why it's still illegal. Like you can't. The thing is, they could follow people. They have enough money to follow people. They have enough money to literally set up shop. Like, okay, this is the leading movie theater. We're just gonna be right next to them. Then they get next to them, like, hey, make prices a little cheaper. And then it's an experience for the kid. When the kid is like, hey, mom, they're showing the Spider-Man movie too, but like Mickey is outside of here. Can we go on this one? I don't like going in that one. Like, it's the small things. Like literally.
Facts.
Right. It would.
Oh, look, the Hawk is over there. They have.
Well, this was already a problem back in the Hollywood days of like 1950s, 50s, I believe, like around then and earlier. Like that's what happened. Like these big production companies owned everything from the line of production, theater, and release, like the whole line.
Yeah.
And that fucked with people getting in there. I mean, that's why it'll never happen because that'll where they will draw the line.
Yeah,
and shut
I
them down.
hope that line still. I hope that line never gets crossed. Just because, like,
I say, like, what you decide is monopoly. See, this is the weird thing, is because streaming services is weird. Online services is hard to monopolize.
Well, I think that's why. I think that's why Viacom is not allowed a streaming service. I think they're not allowed a streaming service. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but the fact that they own like BT, MTV, I want to say like VH1, and if you could box all that in the streaming service, of course everybody's gonna be like, "Hey, I'm paying for that." Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, I'm paying for that one. Like they got 5 things I like, and I'm pretty sure like the government's like, nah, like y'all can have separate streaming services and make money, separately. I know they have like the BT one that just released, and I think they're working on like an MTV one or something.
Yeah.
But come on, you can just Viacom basically owns everything. They're actually like a lot of people talk bad about Disney,
but they're sneaky. Yeah. See, people are sneaky.
Quiet as kept. Viacom owns like everything. But I don't know.
I feel like they've owned everything for a long time though. That's why like it's not like they've always been a major.
I think the whole thing with like Viacom is they just don't have like a poster like. So when you think of Disney, it's that big mouse. And even though like SpongeBob could be considered like poster child of like Nickelodeon, it's not the poster child of like Viacom. Like you just feel like SpongeBob.
But that's more beneficial to them because people don't know. Everyone knows what's a Disney thing because it's in your face.
Right.
But Viacom can sneak through, be like, oh, I own that. Right. Don't tell nobody. You're still a separate organization, but we're your parent company.
Yeah.
Sneaky, dude. These companies are sneaky. They know what they're doing. And if they don't piss people off, then no one will complain. No one will file a lawsuit.
Right.
That's the thing.
I think that would be the way to go, to just sneakily buy up
things. Do you think if Disney was just like not telling anybody anything, they're just buying all these things, they're like, oh yeah. Sure. Like, I mean, so they probably own more things than you think they own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's a huge corporation for sure.
Yeah. And that's where I go with my thing is like, I don't know if I'd pay for Disney Plus. Like, how often do you want to watch Disney?
I think I'm probably gonna get it. Like, when I looked at the list, honestly, it was so sad that it was literally, like, everything I wanted to see. So, like, when I'm on Netflix, it's kind of like, I'm looking through, and I'm like, this might hit, it might not. Netflix originals are always fire. Like, I give them credit when due. Like, Netflix originals, like, they kill that. But it's also at a slower rate. I mean, I guess because they're delivering quality. But when I was looking at, like, the Disney list, I'm like, oh, man, I wish I could watch that right now. Like, that's fire. Because what they're doing is they're picking at what we used to sit at home and watch all the time, and then bringing us the option to watch it. Yeah. So I'm like, it's worth it. Then it's cheaper than Netflix. So then from there, you're like, oh, that basically interests you. So with all these like big like corporations, constantly doing stuff, are you more like inspired by like these big corporations or people in the middle, or more just like the independent crowd?
I mean, that's hard to say because like I'm inspired by like these big corporations because I'm like the structure of how they operate. I'm like,
so as in like
I like that.
So you do photography, and granted, Disney is more like known as this movie based. But Disney has everything. So do you see yourself expanding to like the guy that does everything? Or do you just want to be that guy that I left my mark, I specialized in photography, I built my brand, we had, 1,000 workers in this town, that's what we did? Or do you want to be like, I managed to somehow build a Disney and it went crazy? Or is it kind of just like, what do you picture like the final end as far as like this is it?
I'm the only guy who wants to be like Disney.
Fuck that. I would love that money, man.
I would love to be, to create something where on like a massive scale where we could all like do work and create things. Because first of all, I'm one person. Even if I'm like the best photographer or the best director or the best camera operator, I'm still going to have to work with studio design, other directors, cast members, actors. You have to work with other people. This is like a team thing.
Yeah.
You can't just be a solo person. So, yeah, I mean, leaving my mark on the world as a solo person would be great, but ideally, going for the big team effort.
I get exactly what you're saying. I mean, it ultimately, even if you're the independent route, doesn't. I feel like people misconceive it because like independent doesn't always mean that you're doing it by yourself.
Right.
You know, to me, independent means freedom. It means to be like the ability to not have people that are telling you what to do and what to create. For me, that would be my end goal, to be able to have creative freedom in what I'm creating, but also run a semi-big corporation.
Right.
You know, is that what kind of you're like?
That's exactly what I'd like to do. And I completely understand. Yes, like the independent film isn't just one person, of course not.
Right.
But, you know, it's a group of people creating a film. Those group of people have to be either really volunteering their time or they're getting paid. So how do you do that? You have to have a corporation or a business that's generating money to pay that. But how do you do that? You know, there's some times where like you can get in with like venture capitalists where they're like, we'll give you all the money and resources you want, but we want 50% of your company.
Yeah.
That's not freedom because now they have creative control.
Exactly. Where do you draw the line?
Right. It's where do you draw the line between getting enough money to fund your independent film?
Okay, so let's say, for example, Cube Vision. Ice Cube, he writes it. He has a lot of money now, obviously, to invest in what he needs in. Sometimes he might do a partnership. But he comes out with a movie, and Friday didn't make as much money as Frozen, but he can say, like, I have a successful business. So what do you think about people like that?
I mean, that's awesome. I mean, if he can fund his own projects like that, that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I can't fund my own projects like that.
That's why. No, I feel that. That's why we're doing.
If you got the money to do it, just do it, you know?
Yeah, if you got the money, send it our way. We'll make you a movie or something.
Definitely.
Yeah, let's work together.
Yeah. Come on, guys. No, going off that, I think that is some of the things that we're trying to do with their short film that we're creating that we're going to announce now, guys. So, big announcement. We are creating a short film called Freeway.
It's going to be fire.
I think you guys really like it. We just got done filming the Indiegogo campaign, and we're gonna start raising money. So that video will be up and in the description. I'm going to be the director, and I'm also the co-writer. And then Will is.
I'm gonna be a co-writer as well as actor.
And I'm gonna be the camera operator.
He's gonna be the DP camera operator. I'm very excited to work with these people, and we started this thing. And we're raising money because, again, what we just talked about, we want to create this vision, but we don't have the funds yet. We're just really passionate about it, and I think that everyone will enjoy it when we finish. It's just great to have work with all these creative people as well. Like you said, it's not just one person. This is a group effort. Our actors are pretty cool, amazing people. Couldn't do without Will co-writing it. I think it's gonna be just amazing.
Everything just takes a team. Honestly, if you didn't learn like anything from this podcast today, I really hope that everybody can just take away the fact that everything takes a team. With whatever type of media you're trying to build or make, you have to surround great thinkers, great creators around you, and just understand that that's how the best ideas are going to be built.
Yeah, never stop creating.
Yes, it's very true.
Yeah. Very true. James, do you have anything else to say on the podcast? Where can they find you at?
I mainly use Instagram at Out and Abroad. There's periods in between those, so OUT period AND period abroad. So if you want to check out some cool photos or whatnot, that would be a good place. But
awesome.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being on here.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. This was a good time. He is a great photographer, so make sure you check him out.
Incredible.
and he's gonna be our DP. So it's gonna be amazing. All right, y'all. This has been the Stirfry. I'm Chef T.
I'm Will the Spacekid.
And I'm James Dalton.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Keep it real. Thank you all for listening and joining us on another episode of the Stirfry. All the music was created by Steve Ozell. Check him out on all streaming services at Stevo Music, spelled ST3V30 Music. Also, if you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. We'd greatly appreciate it. See you next Tuesday when we talk about the secrets of the wealthy. It's going to be a good one, so you don't want to miss it. See ya, and keep it real.